Okay, everybody, welcome. If you're watching on YouTube, I am reading the This Week at Bungie, aka the Twab, live on the Twitch channel today. We were told by DMG, aka Dylan, from Bungie that it may in fact be a meaty Twab. So, kind of really looking forward to reading it. I know we are weeks away from Season 15. So enjoy the video of me live reading and live reacting to the Twab. And if you want, feel free to join us on the Twitch channel next week, because we do our weekly Twab waiting room every Thursday. Okay, here we go. Live read to y'all in Twitch chat this week at Bungie. Oh, we are shaking up the sandbox. It's meaty already. Welcome to the Twab. We've got a lot to cover today, so I'm going to skip the small talk. Oh, baby. Cosmo, talk dirty to me. Okay, yesterday, Joe Garoth, right. If you did not check it out, Joe Blackburn, aka Joe Garoth on Twitter, went on and did a big, long thread about the future of PvP. It was a really good read. Go check it out. We also talked about it on my Firing Range podcast with Cammy, Cool Guy, Merc, and Drew. Go check that out. Very good. Please give the whole thing a read, but for the TLDR crew, the main thing we want everyone to know is that we have a plan. It's going to take time, and we are excited about the future of creating more consistent delivery of PvP content. I'm looking forward to that too. Okay, here we go. The best of your ability. Our teams have been hard at work putting together a lot of changes for next season. We decided to break out upcoming sandbox changes into 3 parts. This week we're covering abilities. Next week we're going to talk about armor and mods, and then we'll touch on weapons during the final week before the end of the season. Here is combat gameplay designer Eric Smith to give you the rundown on how your Guardian's abilities will be evolving. Okay. Hey Guardians, we've been hard at work on an abilities balance patch for Season 15, but before we get into the balance changes, shout out to the sponsor of today's video, Raid Shadow Legends. No kidding. Here's some info about a quality of life change debuting in Season 15. Separate melee actions. Big. Already, that is huge. Have you ever tried to throw a knife at a screeb only to lunge forward and slap it and have it blow up? Yup. Have you ever accidentally wasted your hard-earned melee charge on a sad lone dreg? Dude, good call. Starting next season, you'll be able to bind your charged melee attack and your uncharged melee attack to different inputs, giving you greater control of when you use your ability. This is an opt-in feature. Oh, I love it. And these new actions will be unbound by default. When you go to customize your controls, you'll see the following new entries in the action list. Great. Auto melee is the new name for the melee action that you're used to. Your melee is context sensitive, and its behavior will change based on your equipped ability and your proximity to enemies. It usually does its job well, but will occasionally betray player intent. Charged melee is a new action that will always activate your charged melee ability upon a button press, regardless of whether an enemy is in lunge range. Pressing the input when your ability is not fully charged will perform no action and cause the melee ability icon to flash red, similar to how the grenade ability works. That is a great change. Uncharged melee is a new action that will always activate your uncharged melee, even when your charged melee ability is fully charged. It's fairly straightforward. Here are some things to take note. Melee attacks trigger as soon as the button is pressed, not when it's released. Melee attacks don't wait to see if you're still holding the button before starting. This means you can't set any of the melee actions to a long press or double press input. Game controllers have a limited number of inputs, so you may need to get creative with how you map your controls. Personally, I like to put charged melee on RB/R2 and uncharged melee on right stick click /R3. That is an interesting idea. Reminder that I am partnered with SCUF Controllers. This doubles up the finisher and uncharged melee actions on right stick /R3, which will prioritize finishing enemies over meleeing them if the enemy is in a finishable state. If you assign charged melee and uncharged melee to the same input, it will always prioritize the charged melee over the uncharged melee, which is the opposite behavior of the auto melee action. Interesting. To use these new actions on keyboard mouse, open the settings menu, click on keyboard mouse, go down to charged melee and uncharged melee, and then assign them an input. To use these new actions on controller, you're going to go to controller, button layout, custom, go down to charged and uncharged melee, and give them an input. We hope you enjoy this new functionality. I definitely will. And we hope it saves your bacon from time to time. I'm going to have to think about how to... For M and K, that'll be really easy, right? Really easy for M and K. But for controller, I'm going to have to think about what to do there. Okay, long-term ability plans. Last season, Sandbox lead Kevin Yanis laid out our vision for how we see subclass abilities fitting into the D2 sandbox moving forward. Our philosophy for our ability design is that abilities should complement the core combat of Destiny, but not dominate it. It should enhance the game's gunplay, not replace it. The changes we are introducing in Season 15 will help set the stage for those larger systemic ability changes. It's very interesting. Yeah, like thinking about how strong some things are, like Shatter Dive. Yeah, you don't want it to replace gunplay. In the upcoming seasons, we'll be focusing on adjusting how often abilities can be used in PvP specifically. Please stay tuned for more info on that. Okay, that's for long term though. Season 15, ability balance patch. For Season 15, we've prepared a slew of balance changes to raise up underperforming subclasses and tone down overperforming subclasses. What are the odds that Top Tree Dawn makes it out of today's TWAB alive? What are the odds? What do you think, Chad? Without further ado, here are the upcoming changes. Okay, here we go. Ooh, Stasis Freeze coming in hot. The goal of these changes is to make being frozen by stasis less frustrating. Previously, players who were frozen in the air had to wait until they hit the ground to begin the breakout process. Additionally, we've shortened the window of vulnerability between breaking out of stasis, encasement, and losing the damage DR it provides, and getting back to weapon ready so you can fight back. Frozen players can now initiate breakout while airborne. That's kind of cool. Shortened breakout animation and camera transition. This means that once you break out, you'll be able to fight back sooner. How much did they shorten the breakout animation by? That's kind of huge. Meaning when you crack the ice and you free yourself from being frozen, if they really shorten that up, that could be huge. Differentiated long freeze and short freeze visual treatment to make each status easier to identify. Got it. Okay. I still don't like being frozen, but that sounds good. Slide. The goal... Ooh, slide? They're changing... The goal of the slide change is to reduce the effectiveness of sliding into engagements to gain the upper hand. That's been a thing since D1.
That's the point of sliding.
Isn't that the point? Oh, yeah. Even after the shotgun changes we made last season, sliding into every engagement with a shotgun or any weapon is incredibly effective, yeah. And run and gun playstyles are very low risk. This is a change that looks scarier on paper. I'm frightened. Than it feels in practice, and we'll continue to monitor how it plays out. While sliding, players now incur... Wow. Oh, that is a big change. That might be the biggest change in the TWAB today. Minus 20 stability when you slide? How long does it last for? Oh my gosh, your shotgun pellet spread gets wider. And you get flinched harder. Wow. That... I could make an entire video on that one change alone. If you're watching on YouTube right now, next time we do this, I should have a Twitch chat window popping up. The chat is going ham right now. That's a big change. More on that later. But if you're a run and gun player, you might have to really adjust. Dude, I have years of muscle memory sliding into like every PvP engagement. All right, we'll see how it works. For the Titan, Rally Barricade. This barricade variant doesn't see much use, true. So we've made changes to make it a more viable option. It retains the same reload speed benefits as above, while adding other weapon buffs. Standing behind the Rally Barricade now also provides the following weapon buffs. 30 stability, 10% range, minus 50% flinch. That's pretty good. The tower barricade, really viable for a lot of maps and game types. Good for reviving, potentially. Good for locking off small corridors, like the little hallway on Midtown or whatever. I'm really interested in these weapon changes. That's very interesting. Could be a risky play for PvP. Could like it. Dude, I haven't moved on from the slide change. I'm reading the TWAB, but all I can think about is that I'm going to be flinched harder when I slide. Oh man, that's rough. Okay. Currently, certain fast-moving abilities allow you to speed through an enemy barricade while taking minimal damage. The goal of this change is to make players think twice before dashing through a Titan barricade to engage the Titan on the other side. Barricades still can't cause lethal damage. They'll take you down to like 1 HP. But dashing through one should now always leave you with a sliver of health. Really, no matter how quick you go. Players moving at high velocity now take more damage when moving through hostile Titan barricades. Barricades now slightly protrude into the ground, interesting, to better protect the Titan's feet on uneven ground. This should reduce instances where explosions and projectiles, yeah, true, are able to sneak through the bottom of the Titan barricade. All right, man. Titan's getting some good changes there. Good fundamental changes for the Titan. Moving on to the Behemoth. As you may remember, midway through last season, we released a portion of the stasis-related changes originally intended for this releasin'. We're pretty happy with the effect those changes have had on the Crucible, but some of the changes we made had a negative effect on the feel of stasis in PvE. Got it. We've made some adjustments that should help these abilities feel better. In this case, the Cryoclasm change we made last season made it difficult to use Cryoclasm to shatter targets that were close to you. This change enables the Behemoth to shatter nearby targets even if they don't have enough space to get a running start. That is a good change. We also believe we overdid the movement speed nerf to Behemoth, oh boy, which hurt the viability of Shiver Strike. It did, especially during the Glacial Quake Super. We've increased the movement speed to make this feel better. With this patch, we're also fixing a bug where the Whisper of Rhyme Overshield wasn't properly scaling precision damage, causing it to be significantly beefier than intended, which primarily impacted Tectonic Harvest Behemoth. Okay, here are the official changes. Cryoclasm. While equipped, base slide now shatters crystals and frozen enemies. Increased duration of screen FX notifying players that Cryoclasm long slide is ready from 1 second to 4.5. Shiver Strike. Increased movement speed by 25%. Whisper of Rhyme fixed a bug where the overshield provided by Whisper of Rhyme was not scaling precision damage correctly. I have to imagine that Behemoth players are going to be happy about those changes. I should talk to Cammy. Cammy and I are both of the belief that Behemoth, even with the changes, are still pretty top tier. And these changes are really good for the Behemoth. So wait a minute though. I feel like we need to clarify, because in the pre-text, they wrote some of the changes we made had a negative effect of the feel in PvE. So the Cryoclasm change, is that a PvE only change? Or are they changing it to both PvE and PvP? I guess we will find out in Season 15, or if anyone from Bungie clarifies on Twitter, I'll be sure to keep you posted and let you know. If that is for PvP and PvE, that'll be a really, really good change. Okay, moving on. Middle Tree Sunbreaker. We are extending the Throwing Hammer lifespan to allow Titans more time to finish an engagement and still pick up their hammer before it vanishes. We also felt it could deal more damage against orange and yellow bar enemies. Also, the new charged melee action allows you to throw your hammer point blank at an enemy. Oh yeah, I forgot about that, which is pretty badass. Throwing Hammer. Increased time before hammer explodes after hitting the ground from 6.5 wow to 10 seconds. And increased damage versus PvE powerful combatants by 50%. Good change. I still think that Middle Tree Sunbreaker, kind of a meme class right now, but with the new changes to melee throwing, like the charged and uncharged melee action, Yeah, that'll be really good. Meaning if you wanted to, you never have to worry about lunging. You're going to throw your hammer every time, no matter what. Really big. 50%. Woo! Okay, top and bottom tree striker. Some of the game's melee-based supers are at a bit of a disadvantage in today's sandbox. Yeah, true. So we've decided to give a few of them some love. In the future, we'll be looking at ways to reduce the disparity between melee supers and ranged supers in a more sustainable way. Fist of Havoc. Increased slam detonation radius by 14%. Reduced slam damage falloff. Reduced slam attack activation cost from 21 to 18%. Okay. That seems like it'll do a little better. I don't think that'll put it over the top in viability. I mean, usually you're not getting away from the detonation and slam anyway, right? But, you know, we shall see. Middle Tree Striker. This change will be balanced out by something we haven't mentioned yet. We'll say more about this in a future TWAB. Oh boy. Inertia Override. Increased duration from 4 to 6 seconds. Sliding over an ammo brick now grants 20% melee energy. That is really good. Can we really quickly show people at home, if you're a new player, if you're unfamiliar, what Inertia Override is?
What's happening to Inertia Override?
They're making it better.
Oh, it's already been good.
They're making it better. Here, we're opening it up. Inertia Override. Picking up ammo when you slide over it reloads your equipped weapon and, more importantly, improves your weapon damage for a short time. They are bumping that up from 4 to 6 seconds. Dude, you can literally get a weapon damage buff for 6 seconds by sliding over an ammo brick. That is really good. I'm going to have to really think about what loadout I would want to do in the future that can take advantage of that long second inertia override. That is very, very, very good. Yeah. And then you get the 20% melee energy. Is it longer than Rampage? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, oh, yeah. Okay, moving on. Top tree. I think Rampage is only 3.5 seconds. I think Kill Clip is 5. I think that makes Inertia Override longer than Kill Clip. Okay, moving on. Top tree Sentinel. The following change refers to the Ward of Dawn bubble itself and not players in the bubble. Currently, dropping a Ward of Dawn on top of a boss is a no-brainer because it's so effective. The goal of the change is to reduce the breadth of encounters solved by Ward of Dawn and make burly bubbles a conscious choice by the Titan. Oh boy. Okay. Increased damage taken from bosses. Oh, what? From 0.25 times to times 7? Wow. If you're a bubble Titan, you better be really careful about dropping a bubble on a boss. Times 7 is no joke. If you get stomped within a bubble, that might one-shot you. That might be the... to keep you alive outside of point blank and give weapon damage? I don't know. That's a big change. Damage taken can scale down to 0.25 times based on the owner's resilience stat. Wow. Big, big change. Holy Lord. Okay. I don't know what to tell you, Anno. Okay, moving on to the Hunter. Revenant. Last season, we reduced the radius of the silence freeze, aka the super. That change has played out well, requiring the Revenant to be more accurate, more precise with their silence throws. Even now, silence feels like the scarier part of the super, and we want Squall to feel more dangerous. Currently, Squall Storm is slow enough that you can kind of ignore it or fight until it gets close and then relocate. With a speed change, we want players to prioritize relocating when they see an approaching Squall. Additionally, Squall will now stop when it touches a boss, which should make it better for single target boss damage. However, there's a known issue where the Squall will not start moving again if the boss moves or dies. We hope to further improve that behavior in a future release. Okay. We feel we hit Withering Blade slightly. No, you didn't. Fuck Withering Blade. The Hunter Shuriken, no, you hit it fine. you hit it fine. God, what am I about to read? The following change should make it slightly easier to land while keeping the damage and slow duration at a reasonable spot. Okay. Silence and Squall, improved movement speed by 20%. Ooh, I like that. Squall Storm now stops when it touches a boss. Increased projectile speed and tracking by 10%. Okay, that's not bad. I was worried it would be much harder than that. Okay, that's fine. I'll take that. Okay, Middle Tree Gunslinger. Middle Tree Gunslinger. You mean Blade Barrage, the worst class in the game? We'd like to give hunters a larger window to defeat burning enemies and trigger the Playing with Fire perk. As such, we are giving the Knife Trick timer a 25% buff. Knife Trick, increased burning duration from 3 to 4 seconds. I gotta tell you, Bungie, if you want to make Blade Barrage, that whole tree, not garbage, you gotta do, this is like 3 to 4. Bro. Yeah, don't spend it all in one place, hunters. Don't get too happy with that 3 to 4 second buff on Knife Trick. You enjoy, Junior. Okay, Top Tree Gunslinger. The super has been through a lot. We had intentionally reduced the effective range of 6-shooter several seasons ago to balance it against Bottom Tree Golden Gun. This change was then unintentionally reverted at some point due to an unrelated integration mishap, i.e. spaghetti code. This change was then unintentionally reverted at some point. Oh, I already read that. And then later de-reverted? The hell? In any case, we're extending the lethal range of this super a little to reduce how often it required 2 shots to kill in the Crucible. Got it. 6-shooter. Damage fall off now starts at 25 meters instead of 20. Okay, fair. Arc Strider. As we mentioned previously, melee supers like Arc Staff are struggling a bit in today's sandbox where players move extremely fast, understatement, weapons hit extremely hard, and ranged supers, Chaos Reach, handily win duels. We've extended the duration and slam range to help alleviate some of Arc Staff's shortcomings, but we'll continue to evaluate super dynamics and search for a solution that doesn't cause power creep. Additionally, Arc Staff needed a little love in high-level PvE content, so we've increased its damage output there. Got it. Okay. Arc Staff. Extended passive super duration from 16 to 20. Ooh. Actually, not bad. Increased heavy slam detonation radius from 5 to 6 meters. Increased damage versus PvE combatants by 33%. Ooh. That is probably a much bigger change than a lot of you realize. Sorry, I'm drinking coffee. That's a very big change. That could actually become meta for nuking a boss. Better bring a Radiant Well Warlock, though, because God knows the Bubble Titan ain't going to get it done.
I don't understand
why they... Because the strategy is to just drop a bubble on any boss, and they become bitched. They turn into a chump. Like, I think they might have overdone it with that ×7. I kind of see where they were coming from, though.
It's a super. What's the point of armor like that?
I don't know what to tell you.
It doesn't make sense to me. Like, the point of the bubble is to be like an
Anno is really not happy about the Titan change. Okay, I don't get it. Okay, moving on. Top Tree Arc Strider. Deadly Reach. Increased duration from 8 to 10. Okay, fair. Middle Tree Arc Strider. Lightning Weave. Dealing damage with Tempest Strike now triggers Lightning Weave. Oh, okay. Timer can now be extended by dealing damage with any weapon. Really? Any weapon? For Lightning Weave? Really quick. Again, we'll do it live. F it. We'll do it live. I'll write it. We'll go to the hunter and we'll do it live. Up. Okay, we got the old Lightning Weave. Melee hits greatly increase weapon reload speed. And you can keep that going by just landing a shot with any weapon? Wow, okay. That's pretty good. Middle Tree Night Stalker. Spectral Blades not only allows its user to go invisible and vanish from radar, but has one of the highest damage reduction values. And it doesn't make sense. Why are they so beefy for being camo? The whole point should be that they're sneaky beaky and they creep around and they use the camo and the wall hacks. They don't get like to be invisible and the Incredible Hulk. Spectral blades. It's bullshit, dude. Okay, as the fantasy of this ability is that of a stealthy assassin and not a stealthy raid boss, right? We've decided to tone down the damage reduction. Looking at the data, Middle Tree Night Stalker is among the most successful subclasses in PvP. No shocker. This change feels warranted. Okay, reduced damage reduction from 52 to 47. Good change. Reduced additional DR when invisible from 5 to 3. Good. I still think you should not get any additional DR when you're invisible. You should be weaker. Why are you weaker like when you're normal? I don't get it. Anyway, moving on. Oh god. The Warlock changes. Okay, here we go. Shadebinder. Winter's Wrath is one of the best dueling... Yeah, it can shut down pretty much any roaming super. Capable of quickly and easily dispatching other supers. We're okay with that being a strength of the Shadebinder in PvP, but we felt melee supers needed more of a fighting chance. Oh boy. Okay, Winter's Wrath. Reduced shatter pulse damage versus close range supers. Oi. Warlock must now freeze and shatter twice to defeat players in Burning Maul, Fist of Havoc, Sentinel Shield, Nova Warp? Wow. Arc Staff or Spectral Blade. Yikers. Okay. I'm okay with that change, but that really does hurt the viability of Shadebinder. Okay, Anno, get ready.
Okay.
Top Tree Dawnblade. Top Tree Dawnblade, TTD, is straight up dominant in PvP. It really is. So we're taking some measures to make it slightly less so. Celestial Fire, best melee in the game, by the way, will now take a little more accuracy to get full damage. Having access to 2 back-to-back Icarus dashes, oh boy, gave this subclass too much positioning flexibility, allowing for quick, long-distance flanking and evasion. When playing against a TTD, it's hard to know if they have an Icarus dash. They always do, bro. They always have it ready to go, even if you just saw them use one. We're hoping the change makes playing against TTD more predictable. Oh, Jesus. TTD, Top Tree Dawnblade. Okay, we want to identify... Sounds like an STD, doesn't it? We want the identity of TTD to be found in aerial combat. Oh, boy. So we're doubling down on heat rises. Cammy will be happy about that. We hope this change makes heat rises more accessible to players of all skill. Celestial Fire, aka the melee. Reducing the tracking cone angle, okay? I think that is fair. Arming Shape. Proximity detonation now shrinks over time. Reduced detonation size by 1 meter. Damage fall off increased at short distance. Okay, I think that is all very fair. I think even with that, Celestial Fire will probably still be very good. Icarus Dash now provides 1 air dodge every 4 seconds. Oof. While under the effects of heat rises, increased to 2 every 5. Okay. Fair. So you can get your 2 Icarus Dash, but you need to activate heat rises. Okay, that's not as bad as I was predicting. Heat rises, increased duration from 10 to... Whoa! Oh, this isn't a nerf. This is a burf. This is a buff. They're giving burf out here. Dude, they are really doubling down on heat rises, like big time. It's huge. From 10 to 15, people really rely on that. Hardcore. Hardcore. And it's very good, dude. If you're good with heat rises, you can activate that. You can get snipes. You can get really insane team shotting. You can just really murder people. Increase the time extension awarded for air kills while heat rises is active. The extension duration differs based on the type of enemy killed. You can improve the duration when you get a kill? Where were you when enemy was killed? Your location now appears on enemy radar. Okay, that's a fair trade. This is not a nerf. This is a burf. This is a huge, huge burf. B-E-R-F. Buff and nerf together. So while people are going to be feeling the pain of losing the instant double Icarus dash, this is good. You know what? I'm kind of on board. I'm kind of on board. I know that it's going to be hard moving around the map without your free double dodge all the time. But yeah, they're speccing into heat rises a lot. What is really going to be very viable if you are a top tree Dawn main, like I know many of you out there are, I'm going to quickly go into the Warlock tree, and you're going to want to dust off, boom, Starfire Protocol. This is going to go way up in viability on the Warlock tree. Already fairly popular, but it's going to get even higher because you have the ability to rock double fusion grenade. And now that Bungie is really going hardcore into heat rises, which you need to eat your grenade in order to do, yeah, it's going to be big. You're going to have 2 times the grenade to eat. Big, big change. I think people will be mad about Icarus Dash, but they'll be really happy about heat rises. We'll talk to Cammy later. Cammy is going to be thrilled probably about that change. Moving on. Middle Tree Dawnblade. Like Ward of Dawn, dropping a well on certain bosses is a no-brainer because it's so effective. Oh boy. The goal of the below change is to reduce the breadth of encounters solved by Well of Radiance and make burly wells a conscious choice by the Warlock. Additionally, we'd like to make Well more effective in PvP. Good luck! Didn't you just talk about improving the viability of melee supers? What are you going to do? Drop a well on a goddamn Thunder Crash? You will have more survivability while in the well, and you won't be able to be you won't be able to be frozen or slowed? That's good. Making this tree a solid choice when facing off against stasis. Oh, that's actually a really good change for PvP. Okay. The well sword can be frozen and shattered. Oh, well, what the hell are we doing out here? Okay, well, you can't freeze the guardian, but you can freeze the sword? But it takes multiple freezes and shatters before being destroyed. Okay. Something tells me a Hunter Shatter Dive might still be able to get the job done. We're going to have to try that out. Okay, Well of Radiance. Increased damage taken from bosses from 0.25 to 1.5. Why does the Titan get the 7 times nerf? And Warlocks get the 1.5? What the fuck is that? What? Anno, did you hear that?
So the well gets like...
The well gets tickled. The bubble gets crotch kicked. Wow, okay. Damage taken can scale down to 0.25, depending on your resil, sure. This refers to the well itself, not the players in the well? Okay, interesting if true. Increased damage resist buff versus enemy players from 20 to 40%. Wow, that's very good. Players inside well are now immune to stasis freeze and slow. Well sword can now be frozen and shattered by stasis. Guiding Flame. Improved duration from 7 to 10. Which one is the Guiding Flame again? Having difficulty remembering what Guiding Flame is. Oh, the melee buff. The melee empower. Gotcha. Okay. Couldn't remember the name. Oh, wow. To 10 seconds? Very good. Increased damage buff from 20 to 25. Very interesting. Gotcha. You can destroy a well in the chat? Yeah, all you have to do is shoot the sword. Not a lot of people know that. You can break a well by shooting and breaking the sword in the middle of the well, and then you destroy the well. Okay, Bottom Tree Dawnblade. For Bottom Tree Dawnblade. This tree has felt a little lackluster when compared to the Warlock's other options, so we've given it some enhanced functionality, like the Revenant Shatter Dive. Phoenix Dive can now dive down diagonally in the direction of your choosing. Bottom Tree, interesting. Bottom Tree Dawnblade also has one of the weaker melee attacks in the game. Painfully true. You had to defeat an enemy with the melee impact to cause an explosion. With the new rework, anytime you defeat an enemy who is burning or defeat an enemy with any of your solar abilities, they'll explode and put a burn on nearby enemies. Your charged melee deals 120 damage, and puts a burn on the enemy, meaning you can follow up with another lethal attack and still get an explosion. As a side note, this will be even more effective with the Dawn Chorus exotic helmet. Ooh, really? Phoenix Dive, reduced delay before the dive starts, can now input a direction. Not bad. I still think top tree will be the play, but not bad. Igniting Touch. Ability rework. Solar ability kills and kills on burning targets now cause targets to go boom and burn other nearby enemies, who will also explode if they die while burning. Okay, that makes bottom tree Dawn. I feel like that could be very fun for ad clear. It could be fun for ad clear. I don't know if I would rock that in PvP, depending on how good Phoenix Dive feels. I don't know if I would rock that in PvP over top tree Dawn, but we will see. Middle tree Stormcaller. These changes should lead to less instances of Chaos Reach. Can I get an amen in Twitch chat? Dealing damage to enemies on the other side of a wall. Heard that before.
I was gonna say,
Baby, I can change. Arc Beam sees high use in PvP, in great part due to Geomag, and is often used as a shutdown super. In future seasons, we'll be looking at Arc Beam to make sure it's not too easy to use in PvP. Okay. Increased beam environment collision size to better match collision size with the damage. Okay. Reduced beam damage radius in PvP. 20%. Okay. Reduced beam endpoint sphere radius. Don't know what that means. By 33%. Don't care. Good change. Chaos Reach. Way too strong. Look, I know there are probably a lot of meme beam warlock mains out there who are mad that I said that, but like, dude, it's way too oppressive in PvP. I am HO. Way too strong. I think part of the main strength is that you can cancel it and get so much of it back. I think they could maybe not take that away completely, but tweak that a little bit. Either way, good change for now. I will take it. Bottom Tree Stormcaller. Dude, the forgotten class. Player feedback and data on Bottom Tree Storm indicated it could use a little love. So we made Arc Soul last a little bit. Dude, they're going all in on the Arc, buddy. And slightly shortened the time between bursts. Okay. Landfell felt a little underwhelming, so we increased the spectacle a bit. It will now fire 5 arc projectiles along the ground in all directions. Really? Cast your super in the middle of a room to electrocute everything around you. Okay. Arc Soul. Improved duration from 12 to 13. Yeah. Increased rate of fire by 10%. But you can use the Getaway Artist. It's a shame that one exotic piece of armor on the Warlock can kind of nullify the... Because, like, it's... The Arc Buddy is better with the Getaway Artist. Well, like, whatever. Yeah, you can give it to your teammates, but I don't know. We'll see if that helps. I don't know if 10% will be enough, but we'll check. Electrostatic Surge. Now increased sprint speed when allies are near. I like that. Landfall now fires 5 arc ground projectiles on casts. That could be fun for PvE. Middle Tree Voidwalker. Through a mix of player feedback data and running through high-level PvE content, we felt that Nova Warp Super needed attention. Somebody tell Joey. Buffing Nova Warp is a dangerous endeavor. Yeah, true. And we'll be monitoring to make sure we didn't overdo it. It used to be the best roaming super in the game. Hands down. In PvE, handheld Supernova was doing a pitiful amount of damage. We have considerably increased its damage output, especially considering the time and proximity cost you're playing to charge it up and get within range of an enemy. We've also increased the hold time after charging to give you more time to throw it before it vanishes. Nova Warp. Increased damage in PvE by, wow, 73%. No longer slows movement speed while charging and charged. Now detonates on casts. This is big. This is very big for Nova Warp. Handheld Supernova. Increased damage in PvE by 100%. Increased hold time from 2.5 to 3.2. That is good. That is pretty good. I might have to give that a whirl. Phew, we've omitted some minor changes and bug fixes from this list to avoid bogging down the TWAB any more than we already have. For the full list of ability changes, be sure to check out the patch notes when Season 15 launches. While this season's changes are focused on balancing the power output of specific abilities, we are hard at work on system-level changes that will enable us to create a healthier balance between abilities and gunplay. We hope to share more about these changes in the future. Later! Improving the powering up stasis experience. With Beyond Light, Guardians received their first taste of wielding the power of the darkness, as well as a new way to power up subclasses with aspects and fragments. These subclass mods introduced a new way of evolving and growing a subclass, which drastically impacts how stasis feels. Guardians who used aspects and fragments experience the true power of stasis, whereas those who have not may feel a bit cold towards it. Bad pun, boo. Even worse, many Guardians may not even know the extended power offered by aspects and fragments, and we wanted to improve that, oh boy. Starting in Season 15, our Darkness Guide on Europa, the Exo Stranger, will now reveal more info on how to complete the tasks required for earning more stasis power.
When are they gonna update the lights?
I know. Well, I mean, they just went through patch notes and stuff on light.
Yeah, but they said they were gonna like change the to do that.
Yeah, they're gonna probably continue to do that. Moving on with the reading. Guardians who have finished the Beyond Light campaign and visit the Exo Stranger on Europa will see the entire path for unlocking aspects and fragments. Additionally, many of the pre-requirements for obtaining and completing the Born in Darkness quest chain will be reduced or removed. Previously, Guardians needed to complete several quest chains and unlock Salvation's Grip before stasis would grant them additional power. Good change. Guardians that completed the Beyond Light campaign will have immediate access to the Born in Darkness quest chain from the Exo Stranger. Stranger will reveal every unowned fragment, regardless of progression through the questline, giving a preview of the many powers to unlock. Gotcha. With these improvements to messaging aimed at removing a lot of mystery around powered up stasis, we're excited to see more Guardians shatter dive people in PvP. Okay. What the hell is the gauntlet? By the way, I know we kind of ended the patch note section above. I will give more thoughts when I'm done reading the TWAB in case there's more. This year marks our 7th anniversary of the Gauntlet Tabletop Fundraiser. On August 15th, Team Bungie will compete in a tournament against 20 other local gaming studios and tabletop aficionados to raise funds for Young Women Empowered. YWE is a Seattle area nonprofit whose mission is to cultivate the power of diverse young women to be creative leaders and courageous changemakers through transformative programs with a collaborative community of belonging. Your donations will help keep them fund Why We Dream, a program that helps to remove barriers for youth, such as fixing the car they need to get to school, buying books for their education, or helping them get a license to start their own business. Your donations will also embolden our team with power-ups that will help us win the tournament. Next to you, Team Bungie is the reigning champion. Hell yeah. Head to our donation page to support before May 15th. That's got to be a typo. Anyone who donates $25 to our team page will receive the Entre Nos emblem. Got it. Cool. Okay. Rules of the road. To be eligible for the emblem, donations must be made to the campaign between August 2nd and August 15th. Got it. A unique redemption code. Okay. A good cause. Check that out. And we've got the player support team report here. If you want to check those details, check them out. I don't think they're as important to read right now. Bungie Foundation campaign items. Check the TWAB if you're interested in that. Claiming your rewards. Likewise, known issues. Very small list of known issues today. Check that out if you care. Movie of the week. Flawless Vault of Glass, but Leopard rides a sparrow for the entire run. That sounds good. That's a great tweet from Crystal. I don't know if you've seen this, where the Titan just sails off. My people need me. Good movie of the week. Worst TWAB ever? Really? You think this was the worst TWAB ever? Hard disagree, but you think you, bro. We got the artist of the week. Great. Okay. We've gone through the entire TWAB pretty much live. I think that a lot of those changes are going to be really, really influential in PvP. Heavily. and in PvE. The Titan bubble losing viability in PvE by dropping it at the feet of a boss. Same thing with the Radiant Well. That will shake up the PvE meta. I think that the Arc Staff getting, what was it, a 33% buff to PvE damage, that is going to be kind of wild. I think that the PvE changes are definitely there. If their goal was to reduce the number of people playing Top Tree Dawn, by the way, I don't think they're going to succeed with the changes they have laid out here. I definitely think it'll be different. I think people might rage quit Top Tree Dawn now that they no longer have the ability to double dash without heat rises. But because they're leaning harder into heat rises, I think this is actually going to maybe make... I haven't made up my mind if it's going to keep Top Tree Dawn where it is right now, or if it's going to make it stronger. People who know how to use heat rises well, Cammy is probably doing a backflip right now. Cammy is probably doing a backflip. Other people might not be as much. I really am interested to see how those changes work. And I kind of want to try Middle Tree Dawnblade in PvP for the Guiding Flame buff, for the power of the well. Still kind of a meme. I don't think it'll do as well as Top Tree Dawnblade. Very interesting changes overall. And dude, oh my god, I almost forgot. Maybe the biggest change in the TWAB. Right here. The slide. That is a huge change. I've been mentally conditioned for... How long has Destiny been alive? 7, 8 years? To slide into weapon engagements, because it's a very good way to approach. Depending on how long these penalties are in play for, that could really, really hurt the viability of sliding. And actually, that could also be, I really hate to say it, a buff to Hunter players. You want to know why? Because if the play no longer becomes to slide into an engagement, why not jump into an engagement? And who likes to jump into an engagement more than our friendly neighborhood Stompy Hunter? Time will tell. But I don't think I'm thrilled about the slide change. That might be a bad change, but we'll see. Maybe it changes PvP in a good way. We'll find out. Anyway, thank you for the live reading of the TWAB on the Twitch chat, and if you're watching on YouTube, I appreciate you. Do me a favor and click the like button. Appreciate you, and definitely swing by the Twitch channel next week on Thursday to catch the TWAB reading live and talk with everybody in Twitch chat. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.